Kathleen Davis is receiving our Kovod Award, which means honor. We recognize her for all of the time and power that she's put behind her position with the JCC. We acknowledge her for the efforts that she puts into so many committees, and we say thank you with this award, and we hope to build upon that with a long-standing career with the JCC. Her grandmother, she has a great history with the JCC. Her grandmother was actually the director of our early childhood program many, many, many years ago. So we're so thrilled that Kathleen is following in family footsteps, so to speak, and is part of our honorees list this morning.
I am a proud member of the Jewish Community Center. When I walk in the door, I am struck by connection and a link to the past, all the while looking and seeing the hope for the future. I was not raised Jewish, so my introduction to Judaism in the home has been from my Davis family. I can join into the traditions that are so much a part of who my husband is and who our family is. I would like to thank our past president, Stephen Siskin, for those many years ago asking me to serve on the board. Service is a huge part of a fulfilling and meaningful life. Although I do feel that sometimes I'm getting back more than I put in, the board position at the JCC has instilled in me not just a sense of belonging, but a sense of responsibility. Responsibility to all the precious little faces that walk around this building. Their life is a blank canvas, and this is such a wonderful environment for them to feel nurtured, to feel educated, to feel protected, and a part of something greater than themselves.
This morning, we are going to be giving the Kovod Gadol Award to Cantor Esa Jaffe and Chaim Jaffe. And we are thrilled to be able to honor them for their lengthy and extensive volunteerism in our community, but also for our JCC. Cantor Esa Jaffe is amazing in how she offers her time to us if we need it. She's a long-standing cantor at Temple Adeth with a gorgeous voice. And we are just so honored that she's part of our family here at the JCC. And then Chaim, what can I say about Chaim? I've known him for years. He was legal counsel of the JCC for years. And it's another way for us to say thank you. Thank you for the energy and the time that you helped to make this community stronger.
So I grew up downstate. I went to Hebrew Day School, K through 12. It's part of my DNA. When Esa and I first met, it was obvious that our backgrounds were similar in terms of our love for Judaism, the values that our parents instilled in us and our grandparents instilled in us. And we love being part of the Jewish community in Syracuse.
So I grew up here. I've always been a singer. I played the piano. Now I get to tie everything together and bring Jewish music to the community through the JCC and all the other institutions that I work with. We're very good partners in life, in all aspects of our life. To get this award together, it's a recognition that we've worked together within the Jewish community and within the greater community and our partnership, and that's a nice way to honor that.
Honestly, I would have given it to just Esa. She's done something for probably every agency in this Jewish community since we came back to town.
You're being very modest. You've done a lot to help the Jewish community.
We can argue about it later.
Our oldest lives in Boston, and he's seeking out the Jewish community there. Our son Shai teaches here and teaches the kids in this ECDP room, actually. And the JCC is a big part of their foundation, and they're choosing to bring that out as they grow up into adults. There are lots of different institutions where people can enter the Jewish community and become part of it. And the JCC is one of those that, for a lot of people, is accessible.
Whether you give charity or whether you volunteer, it should be unconditional. You're not doing it to get something in return. You're doing it because you love the institution.
When you're asked to do something, say yes, and then see where it takes you.
The Hall of Fame Award is given out to individuals who are involved in the past, the present, and the future of our community. Howard Weinstein and Ellen Weinstein are two of those individuals. They have served on so many boards, too many to mention and to list here, but they honor us repeatedly with their presence on so many boards, so many community events. They are there front row, and they exemplify the individual that we want to acknowledge. We acknowledge Howard and Ellen with this award and say thank you. Thank you for being so active and so part of our community, and your pictures are going to be on that wall, that Hall of Fame in perpetuity. Thank you.
I'm Ellen Weinstein.
I'm Howard Weinstein.
And we are the proud recipients of
the Hall of Fame Award from the JCC. This is a great place to live. The Jewish community is small, but
vibrant.
Very vibrant.
Very vibrant. I see the JCC as the center of the Jewish community. It was one of the first things we did when we moved to Syracuse was to find out where the JCC was, and it enabled us to be part of the community from the get-go. The people that I've met and the people that I've worked with in all these organizations really are true to the core values of Torah and Tzedakah, Tikkun Olam, and L'dor V'dor.
She has unlimited energy when it comes to the JCC and to the Jewish community, which is wonderful. She's involved with our daughter Lisa and the Advocates Group and ARC. I mean, this is just somebody who gives and gives and gives and does not take.
I'm not just a joiner. If I participate in something, I have to do more than just come to a meeting. So I'm so proud of Howard's efforts in helping to create the Syracuse Community Hebrew School. It was not an easy thing to do at first because you had to get everybody willing to give up their own identity, so to speak. And yet it really wasn't giving up their identity, it was really building identity.
I was president of the temple at that time, and I got together with the other presidents of the other temples in town, and everybody agreed. And they said, okay, let's give it a try. And it just worked out very well. I mean, you know, we're all grown-ups, and we were talking about the kids.
The L'dor V'dor is very important. If we don't do what we need to do for the next generation, who's going to teach them what they need to do for the generation after that? So it's an obligation, and it's a joy, and it's a privilege.
It's the most important thing. You got to enjoy what you do. You got to love what you do. You got to be willing to give up a part of your life. But it's all worth it in the end.
You're doing what you're doing because it's good for the community. As my parents had taught us, you've got to pay it forward. You've got to give back.
This morning, we're giving out our 6th Leslie Award. The Leslie was established in memory of Leslie London Newlander, who was an integral part of our community, not only the JCC community, but the greater community. She brought in energy behind every one of her projects that she undertook. No matter what committee she sat on, she brought an energy to the table that was unparalleled. Well, this morning's recipient is the same type of energy person. She brings to the committees and the events that she chairs. It's just amazing what she does and what she creates. Her ideas are fabulous, and we've implemented so many of them with great success, as have other entities. And that's the beauty of this award. We want this person to be important to the community and to the future. We're counting on you, Leah. We're expecting a lot of good things to come from you going forward. Thank you.
The JCC was always part of me. That was a home away from home. And as I moved to Syracuse, it was extremely important that I was involved with the JCC, that I was present in the JCC. Being a volunteer is something that both my parents just did. That's who they were. They didn't tell me that I needed to do that. They didn't tell me that we needed to give back in many ways. I just watched my role models, my parents and my siblings, do the same thing. I'm extremely honored to be getting the Leslie Award. I've heard from my mother-in-law, Seth's aunts and friends, how wonderful of a woman Leslie was. That she was not only warm and vibrant and full of life and lit up a room, but to her core, she was a volunteer. There's a really great big world out there. And sometimes as American Jews, you forget that there's a really great big world out there and that the strength of the Jewish people is really strong. Meeting volunteers just like me, Jewish volunteers in Uruguay and in Argentina, was so exciting, so inspiring and motivating because they were the truest form of Zionists. To them, being Jewish was to be a Zionist. And I was in awe. I walked into a school and they were waving not only Israeli flags, but Argentinian flags. And when I returned home and I came to the JCC and I see Jewish flags everywhere, I see Israeli flags everywhere, I know that we're doing just as much as they are. And I feel that in the greater community, we are all truly working together. And there's a long way to go, but if we can all work together, both in our community and abroad, we will be stronger, our community will be stronger, and we will learn from each other. And that's really why I continue to volunteer. I love working with other people. I love working with all the different agencies in Syracuse. I love working with the younger kids and working on boards. It's important for me to hear other people's voices and work together so that we as Syracuse continue to be strong and united.